Sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma practitioners, when it comes to our human life, mostly as our life, we see something else in this outside world. So when we look, what is the real life? Mostly we explain what we do, for maybe what we do for living. And what you do for living, or maybe your leisure moment, maybe your resting moment, that whatever you do during that time, you take as life. But when we look deeply, life is completely different than this working life. So you sitting on this chair and then you looking outside. And when you look outside, you're not aware about the sitting moment. So if you take the outside, whatever you're looking as life, how about your sitting moment? What it is? So we always projecting towards outside, and because of that we disconnect from our very being itself. So the real life mean the moment that happening to you in this very moment, not the past, even not the future, in this very moment. So that's why the real life is tip of your nose. And sometimes we cannot see it. Why? Because there are a lot of things to think. So then remember that whatever happened in life, it is just an incident for a while, but the real life itself happening within you. So if you able to experience that life, that this happening inside you, there are a lot of things going to be different in this outside world, mostly because of this thinking pattern, we get tangled to unnecessary situations. But we think we have to do that. We must think. We must think. Otherwise, it going to be something else. So that also a thought. So then ourselves, we condition. We have versions, mental versions, chapters ourselves. So, but when it comes to this meditation practice, it takes you to experience the real life. And in that real life, you don't need words. Why you need words to, when you living, why you need words to explain something? You don't need to explain. You don't need the words to understand. You don't need thoughts to understand it. because itself it's happening, and that become itself experience. So then yourself always try to settle down with that at least few minutes, little, because once you're able to get into that, once you're able to experience that little by little, you will see how you can expand, how you can increase the timeline, duration. So otherwise, that whatever you keep doing outside, don't take it as life. It is a part of life. But the real life is something else. So just try to focus to that and recognize it. And nowadays we keep talking about this clear comprehension. So in this clear comprehension, yesterday we talk about the purpose, clear comprehension of purpose, intention, and how you keep the purpose. And today we're going to talk about clear comprehension of suitability. So the suitability is a very important thing when it comes to meditation. Because maybe you practice meditation, but other people don't know about it. And regarding develop the clarity in your mind or practice your meditation, and sometimes you have to go to certain places and you have to arrange a place. So then you have to look how possible it is, or is it suitable? So as example, there is a corridor and then you want to practice meditation. But you cannot sit in the middle of the corridor, because then how about other people? It is not a suitable place to sit. So that's why it says sunyagara. It means, the empty place. You have to find it. And the other one is, your sitting should not be a disturb to yourself and for others. Even when you go to forest, there are the footpath like animals used to walk. And when you go to forest, before you settle down in a place, you have to look around and see how these wild animals behave around that area. If you see a footpath, all the wild animals go, you should not sit on that path. It's going to become a big mistake. So that's because it is not suitable. So then when it comes to conventionally, outside, you have to look, is it suitable, this time suitable to practice meditation? Or is this place suitable? Or this posture suitable? Or like a headstand. Doing headstand, you cannot do the meditation or practicing anapanasati. The headstand is one of the good posture for the yoga practice. Physical benefit point of view, it is good for something else, but for meditation, ujung kayang panidaya parimukang sating upattapitta. Keep your back head, neck head straight in one line, and bring your attention to in front of your nose and your upper lip area. It recorded. So then you follow that. And then maybe you think, oh, I want to try different way of posture. So you have to look, is it suitable? And the place and the timing. in the middle of the dark place sometimes, even at home, and without telling to anybody, without knowing to others, in the middle of the somewhere in kind of like in a living room, you want to practice meditation. Maybe you sitting in the middle of the dark, and somebody come and maybe without turning on the light, try to walk to get some water or go to bathroom or sometimes go to take something else, and suddenly you are sitting in the middle of the living room. You practice meditation, but you have to look, is it suitable? So that is clear comprehension of suitability. Because when you practice meditation, that you cannot think that the whole other world will behave according to that. No, you have to be comfortable. You have to be flexible to go with the situations, go with the flow. And while you're driving, and sometimes some students say, oh, while I'm driving, I'm practicing Anapana. Then you may go to the next life very soon. You cannot do that. Don't do it. When you're driving, what you have to do, forget about meditation. It is not suitable. So just focus to driving and look at the road very clearly and put your attention to the what you're doing. And how about you practicing Anapanasati and you go and suddenly you have to brake? And how about suddenly you push the gas? What will happen? You accelerate. What will happen? Then Anapanasati bring you, ticket. Or maybe accident. You have to end up in a hospital. So you have to, that's why this practicing meditation means it's not like you become somebody else, kind of like you become a different person. No, you really start to get into the reality of life. You start to really understand the very behavior and the nature of the life. Even in the ancient time, that the monks used to go to cemetery to practice meditation sometimes. And even that they do it very privately. And in case if they know, if there are people keep coming towards that way, maybe at night, and then they try to stay invisible, or otherwise they try to mention there is a monk here, maybe making a sound or that showing something, some sign. Otherwise that people get afraid. How about there is a monk practice meditation in a cemetery, and maybe suddenly somebody else go, maybe thief go in that area, and if the monk hear that somebody will come towards him, if the monk not make any noise or sound, suddenly maybe that thief get afraid and he having a maybe weapon, and then what will happen? Because of the fear that the thief maybe use the weapon. So it can happen. So it happened in the ancient time. So that's why this clear comprehension of suitability is very important when it comes to practice meditation. And you're looking for the right environment, right place, and right timing, and you become more conscious regarding that things. It's not you exactly go with the timeline, no. You become more flexible. So as example, every day you practicing meditation 7 o'clock in the evening. And maybe one day there are visitors at home. So that day you cannot keep thinking, oh, I want to go and practice meditation. No, there are visitors. If you do it, it is not suitable. So then what you have to do, just spend the time with the visitors. And then after that, once they leave, and slowly You find a place and yourself and practice. And maybe you are practicing meditation, maybe emergency situation come in a family, children cry, or maybe have to go to hospital and somebody ask help, maybe wife or the husband need the help and they ask. So then you cannot just thinking, I don't hear that, it is impermanent, oh that sound come, it is impermanent. You cannot keep thinking like that way. If you keep thinking like that, maybe 2 by 4 going to come to your head. It happen. So don't allow it to happen like that. So then you have to look what happened. You have to get out of the meditation and go and look. So that is suitability, the clear comprehension of suitability. So remember that very carefully, and this is a Buddha's teaching. That's why this meditation is it's a very practical way you have to go with the life. This is not you become somebody else in more than the human being. No, you become completely human being, but you practice deeply and transform yourself deeply inside you. That doesn't mean you become a different person to the society. So, and maybe you want to ask a question regarding meditation, or maybe you want to visit the temple, or you want to go to the Bodhi tree, or maybe you want to go to the sign room, practice meditation. And then you have to look, is that suitable time? In the middle of the night, maybe 2 a.m. You cannot call and ask, Bante, how about this question I have, this question regarding Samadhi? You cannot do like that. But there are people, they do like that. So then you have to look, are you aware about that? That understanding itself develop your clear comprehension. Sati sampajanni. Otherwise, it is just not practicing a technique. That's why it is this vipassana. When it comes to vipassana, it's complete lifestyle. It is not you just sit and practice vipassana. No, you completely you live with it, and that is why you gain little by little, little by little. You uplift your ability to be conscious. That itself bring the awareness to the moment. And once you develop that awareness with the moment, and the attention become more clear, more clear, more clear and sharp, and from there you can go beyond the attention, because as the attention is related to thoughts, but when you become more clear awareness, and so you can have better than attention. That's mean clear comprehension. In that very moments when the things happening without thinking, you recognize it. Direct perception. So then clear comprehension of suitability. So remember always, while you practicing meditation, and if you are, especially when it come to vipassana meditation, it's another thing is you have to keep it more private, and you cannot talk about this regard with everybody. It is not suitable. And maybe some people, they don't know about meditation. It is not suitable. And the situation, you go to a wedding and you meet a friend after a long time, and you cannot talk about your vipassana in this wedding, the dinner or the lunch table. After a long time, you have to ask the ordinary things. Maybe because that person doesn't know anything, unless you meet the right person to talk about it. Then you talk. Otherwise, you don't talk about it. Why? Because it is not suitable. And then husband, wife, you live together and you practice vipassana. And when you go to sleep, you cannot keep talking about vipassana. Forget about it, then very soon you're going to divorce. It happened. It happened most of the time that the people, when they went into too much into temples or too much into meditation, too much into puja, you know, they become somebody else. They lose their mind. So there is a way. That's why look, the Buddha in the Satipatthana Buddha mentioned the clear comprehension of suitability. It is the Buddha's teaching. It is not somebody else made like a positive thinking 1, 2, 3 like that. No. So then there are many incidents happened during the Buddha's time, during that the history. There are a lot of monks went to trouble because they didn't understand the suitable time, situation, environment, the place, like that. Even to make a temple, there should be a suitable place. Even to go to have you mostly you never see that when it come to that the history or most of the enlightened masters attain to enlightenment in the middle of the forest or in a very calm relaxed place. And you never see most of the meditation centers you never see close to the ocean. Why? Because it is not calm, it is not relaxed, it's always the ocean sound. So like that, you have to understand. If once a while you go to that, it's okay. But when you look at the history, look, most of the enlightened masters in the middle of the jungle, in the maybe in the top of the mountain or in the forest, they attain to enlightenment. But you didn't see mostly in the coastline, because it's not suitable. And we had a lesson about it, and that's how that I learned long time ago. So like that, you have to look, even when you make a temple, you have to look. You cannot be in the right of the middle of the city, or you cannot be far away from the city. So you have to find the right place. Should be sure it should be, you know, the, that the suitable to everybody. So then when it comes to practice meditation, conventionally, even yourself mentally, even you have kind of mental situation. When you have too hunger, don't forget, don't try to practice meditation. You cannot do. It is not suitable. If you have too much physical pain, you cannot. The very first thing before you practice meditation, go and find a doctor and get cured your situation. Otherwise, you cannot practice unless if you develop the high mental powers to overtake the pain, then it is okay. Otherwise, you end up becoming angry about yourself. And if you feel any uncomfortable, so first you have to fix that, and then go to meditation. So don't. Another thing is when it comes to family and other things, there are things you have to do things, and you cannot neglect. Neglecting that things if you sit for meditation, and before you get into your enlightenment, maybe you get something else. It's going to become a trouble to everybody. So that's why remember yourself. This is more practical way to practice in your life. Vipassana is not a part of the life. No, this is a lifestyle. So when it comes to clear comprehension, it is not a part of something. No, that is you are. That is who you are. So when you really come to that point, you see completely. It is not a moment that you sit and observe. No, the always your awareness, your clear comprehension, your attention, Your mindfulness always becomes sharp, clear. So that is where you transform. So day by day, when you increase that, what happening? That disturbance is not going to happen to you, and clarity going to be with yourself, and very easily you can see things and recognize things, and the direct perception, little by little, whatever come to you right away without too much thinking, you're going to understand it. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi dīghāyuko bhava. Yattavata ca ammihi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam hi punya kammang asavakkaya vaham hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.